David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight there is breaking news right now. The tornado watch as we come on and the severe storms. The air traffic control tower evacuated. Just as millions travel for Thanksgiving tonight, these storms moving from the south, the Ohio Valley, into the northeast now. Air traffic controllers forced to evacuate in Atlanta over tornado concerns for a time. On the highways tonight, the fiery crash on I-95. And now a second storm right after Thanksgiving. Dangerous driving, winter storm warnings already up tonight. Ginger Z is standing by live with the forecast. Tonight, the FBI now requesting interviews with 6 Democratic lawmakers who told military members they do not have to follow illegal orders. The Pentagon threatening to court-martial Senator and retired astronaut Mark Kelly. The search tonight for a high school football coach who went missing right in the middle of an undefeated season. And tonight, the dark turn in this case. Authorities are now calling him a fugitive. The emergency playing out on the water, the family celebrating a 70th birthday when the boat capsizes off Florida. A 90-year-old man among those on the boat. Others had to hold him up for 20 hours. Tonight, the war in Ukraine, new Russian attacks on Kyiv, President Trump tonight, and what he's now saying about a peace plan. Ian Panel standing by in Kyiv for us. Back in the U.S., surveillance showing a house leveled by a gas explosion. That blast felt miles away. Frightening moments for one of Selena Gomez's family members forced to hide from intruders breaking in. Tonight, what our reporter learned after an offer he made 7 years ago, the email that arrived, and what doctors are convinced he can now do. Also tonight, the stunning moment, the family that thought their loved one was dead. She began knocking from inside the coffin. Tonight here, remembering a former child actor from Leave It to Beaver.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight here with these severe storms just as millions travel for Thanksgiving. In fact, there's a tornado watch up at this hour. In Atlanta, they had to partially evacuate the air traffic control tower for a time over tornado concerns there. And now a second storm set to hit. Winter storm warnings already up. First, that tornado watch in Alabama and Mississippi across parts of the South. Storms moving through the South, right through the Ohio Valley, right into the Northeast now. Then this second major cross-country system hitting right after Thanksgiving. It'll bring dangerous driving. There are already winter storm warnings up tonight. Time-lapse video showing the storms rolling over Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Those air traffic controllers had to leave the tower. Fears over a possible tornado there for a time. Tonight, new images of a tornado near Houston. We told you about a fire crew taking shelter in a garage as powerful winds blew through the area. On the roads tonight, a fiery crash shutting down I-95 in Chesterfield County, Virginia. That tanker truck veering off the highway and catching fire. Traffic backed up for miles. And from Chicago tonight, take a look, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Kennedy Expressway. Ginger Z is standing by with the storms tonight and now this second major system right after Thanksgiving. And ABC's Matt Rivers with the images already coming in at this hour.
Tonight, 2 major storms sweeping across the country, bringing heavy snow to the Midwest, severe weather in the south, and drenching rain to the northeast, all on the busiest holiday travel day at the nation's airports.
Very, very busy. It's very busy right now.
More than 52,000 flights scheduled today alone. Major airports from D.C. to Philadelphia, right up to New York City, bracing for delays.
Just kind of planning for the worst, hoping for the best.
For sure. That's, kind of what I'm hoping for. Hopefully I can get on my plane today. If not, then, maybe they can reschedule me before Thanksgiving.
At the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta, severe weather halting flights.
The tower is evacuating and going down to minimal staffing due to a possible tornado over the airport.
The control tower evacuated as storms rolled in, the skies darkening, but no tornado was confirmed. That same system did kick up at least 2 tornadoes in Texas in the past 24 hours. And new video showing the moment a tornado touched down just north of Houston, sending debris flying, pelting that fire truck. The firefighters taking cover in a garage, more than 100 homes damaged. Tonight in the Midwest, near whiteout conditions, making for treacherous travel near Fargo, North Dakota. Plows racing to keep the runways clear at Hector International Airport. And more than 73 million hitting the roads this holiday.
We want to beat the traffic. We know everybody's going to be traveling and just trying to get ahead.
The drive off to a rough start on the busy I-95. Watch as a tractor-trailer veers off the highway in Chesterfield County, Virginia, south of Richmond, exploding in a fireball. The southbound lane shut for hours, backing up traffic for miles.
And David, things are getting busier here at LaGuardia Airport in New York City. We can see behind us people are coming in more and more as the day goes on, just as the rain is moving into this area. Right now, though, delays and cancellations looking okay for the moment, but passengers certainly wary after months of travel chaos. David?
Matt Rivers leading us off here tonight. Matt, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee back with us tonight. Ginger, what do you see?
Hey, David, so I'm seeing a tornado watch for the next half hour still in Alabama. Those strong storms will pass I-65. You see them east of Monroeville. Well, up here, it's all about the rain and heavy rain from Harrisburg moving into Allentown tonight into New York City. But by 3 a.m., things start to dry out again. We have to focus on that next storm. It is a strong one. Nearly 80-mile-per-hour gusts already reported in South Dakota. Those high wind warnings along I-80, not going to be easy to travel in Nebraska. And look at that. That's a blizzard warning from Aberdeen, South Dakota, over from just south of Duluth and the Keweenaw Peninsula in the upper peninsula of Michigan. Very difficult to get around. Minneapolis could get 3 to 6 inches with the snow there. It'll be blustery too, and wind, big time wind. Chicago over to Cleveland, down to Columbus. I think that could impact airports on Wednesday, so we'll have to watch that carefully. By the time the rain makes it to here again tomorrow afternoon and evening, it's just a scattered in nature, so it's not going to be too disruptive. Thursday's blustery and cold all the way down to Atlanta, certainly in the Northeast, and the lake effect snow machine turns on big time. Erie or Syracuse, watch for that. Now, on Saturday, that next storm, as everybody turns around, they're trying to go home, Chicago could be a problem with snow. And on Sunday, the busiest day for everybody to hit the roads back in the air, that looks wet, especially along the East Coast in the afternoon and evening. So, David, the earlier you can leave if you are traveling I-95 on Sunday, the better.
We just want everyone to have a happy and healthy, safe Thanksgiving and take your time, get home safely. Ginger, thanks again tonight for that. We'll see you on GMA. This evening, the FBI is now requesting interviews with 6 Democratic lawmakers who told military members in those videos that they do not have to follow illegal orders. President Trump accusing the lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Well, now the FBI is moving in on this, and the Pentagon is threatening to court-martial Senator and retired astronaut Mark Kelly. Here's Rachel Scott tonight.
Tonight, the FBI wants to talk to the 6 Democratic lawmakers who President Trump accused of seditious behavior punishable by death for recording this message to the military.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Telling service members they should not follow illegal orders.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
Tonight, the FBI has requested interviews with all 6 lawmakers, including New Hampshire Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander, who served as an intelligence officer in the Navy Reserve.
I will not be intimidated. I will not be harassed. I will continue to do my job and uphold my oaths.
It comes as the Pentagon threatens to court-martial Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, a retired Navy captain who flew 39 combat missions in Iraq before going on to become an astronaut. Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called the video a, quote, politically motivated influence operation. Senator Kelly explaining why the lawmakers used the words they did.
We basically repeated the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and they're saying that's in violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It's absurd.
The defense secretary continues to attack Senator Mark Kelly, now sending a letter to the Secretary of the Navy asking for a review of his comments for potentially unlawful conduct, saying he wants to be briefed on the matter no later than December 10th, David.
All right, Rachel Scott live at the White House for us. Rachel, thank you. Tonight, the dark turn in this search for a missing high school football coach in Virginia who vanished right in the middle of an undefeated season. Authorities tonight are now calling him a fugitive. Here's Mola Lengi.
Tonight, a dramatic twist in the search for a Virginia high school coach who vanished in the middle of his football team's undefeated season.
The Virginia State Police has obtained 10 warrants for missing high school football coach Travis L. Turner.
Turner, now considered a fugitive, wanted on multiple counts of possession of child pornography and using a computer to solicit a minor, according to state police. Authorities say Turner disappeared as agents were heading to his home on Thursday during the early stages of an investigation. Police using drones to search the woods around Turner's house for days.
We've had K-9 units, bloodhounds from local departments, Sheriff's Office here in Wise, state police dogs into the woods searching place where Mr. Turner may have been or had seen.
The married father last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt, sweatpants, and glasses. Turner, the head football coach at Union High School for nearly 15 years, was awarded the 2021 Prep Football Coach of the Year, appearing on camera after a recent victory.
Our kids did a good job making some plays and getting, once we got the momentum, we didn't turn it loose there in the second half.
Tonight, the Wise County School District saying in a new statement, it is aware that law enforcement has filed charges against a staff member who has been on administrative leave. The individual remains on leave and is not permitted on school property or to have contact with students. Officials did not name the employee.
Well, David, in a statement tonight, the family's lawyer says any allegations should be addressed through proper legal process, not through speculation or rumor. The family asking for compassion and privacy tonight, David.
Mola Lengi with us here. Mola, thanks. Tonight in New York City, the Manhattan DA says he will retry the suspect in a famous case, the kidnapping and murder of Eitan Pates. The 6-year-old disappeared in 1979, walking home from school in Soho. That case raising national awareness about missing children. You'll remember his face was among the first to be seen on milk cartons. Hernandez was convicted of murder and kidnapping back in 2017. That conviction was overturned in July over flawed instructions given to the jury. Tonight, the DA says he will seek a new trial. Tonight, the emergency playing out on the water. The family celebrating a 70th birthday when their boat capsized off Florida. A 90-year-old man was among those on the boat, the others helping to hold him up on top of the capsized boat for 20 hours. Here's Victor Akendo.
Tonight, the harrowing rescue off Florida's Gulf Coast. A family celebrating a birthday, among them a 90-year-old man stranded at sea, holding on to each other for 20 hours before the Coast Guard arrived.
We have Coast Guard coming in with possible 4 patients.
Officials say Dennis Woods and 3 relatives were out on a fishing trip for his 70th birthday Monday afternoon when their 25-foot vessel started taking on water, eventually capsizing.
It was probably less than 5 minutes before it rolled, and I didn't have time to contact the Coast Guard.
Other family members calling authorities when the group didn't return from their outing. Woods describing a frightening night at sea.
We were standing on the top of the boat, but yeah, we were clinging to it. And with a 90-year-old, I spent almost all night holding him up, and then he fell several times.
The Coast Guard locating the overturned vessel Tuesday morning, roughly 26 miles off the coast of Clearwater.
They were all very tired. They were cold, definitely happy to see us. Yeah, I would say that it was a pretty good birthday present for him.
David, all of the boaters, including that 90-year-old, were taken to the hospital for treatment and are in stable condition. David?
20 hours, just incredible images. We're glad they're okay, Victor, thanks. Overseas tonight, the war in Ukraine, new attacks from Russia, just as President Trump now signals progress in these peace talks. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell with late reporting from Kyiv tonight.
Tonight, with Russian missiles and drones raining down on Kyiv, President Trump announcing, quote, tremendous progress has been made to end Russia's war in Ukraine. But the president also saying he won't meet with Zelensky until this gets closer. A U.S. official telling ABC News there are some minor details to be sorted out, but Ukraine has agreed to a peace deal. The apparent breakthrough coming after U.S.-Ukrainian talks in Switzerland. President Trump writing on Truth Social, the original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the U.S., has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides, and there are only a few remaining points of disagreement. Now, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff heading to Moscow to talk with Vladimir Putin.
I think we're getting very close to a deal. We'll find out.
A senior source briefed on the matter telling ABC News there'll no longer be a punitive strict limit on the size of the Ukrainian army. But crucial, contentious issues like Ukraine surrendering even more land to Russia remain unresolved. But even with these tentative signs of progress, the war hasn't even slowed down. We were there as Russian missiles targeted Kyiv.
I don't know if you heard that. We're now getting intense Russian bombardment of the capital.
And tonight, an American who was among those fighting for Ukraine, remembered by Ukrainians now paying tribute. John James Witherspoon, a young volunteer from Michigan, was killed on the front lines. His body just returned by Russia.
He said that he was there to defend the freedom, sovereignty, and ancestral lands of innocent people.
David, the White House ruling out an immediate meeting with President Zelensky, even though it was something the Ukrainians had said they wanted by the end of the month. Now, that's not impossible, but even with these signs of progress late today, President Trump saying he will meet with Putin and Zelensky, but only when a deal to end this war is final. David?
Ian Pannell with up-to-the-minute developments for us. Ian, thank you from Kyiv. And meantime, from Paris tonight, authorities arresting 4 more suspects in connection with that brazen heist at the Louvre. Police now say one suspect was part of the 4-person crew that pulled off the $102 million robbery. 8 suspects in all now under arrest tonight. Prosecutors say more are possible. They still don't know the location of those stolen jewels. Back in the U.S. tonight, a controversial vaccine critic is now the second in command at the CDC. Louisiana Surgeon General Dr. Ralph Lee Abraham has been appointed to deputy director now. He previously called COVID vaccines dangerous. He supports RFK Jr.'s claims linking autism to Tylenol taken during pregnancy. He also wants to end hepatitis B vaccinations given at birth. He retired from Congress in 2020. When we come back here tonight, the stunning moment, the family that thought their loved one was dead. She then began knocking from inside the coffin. Also tonight, remembering an actor from Leave It to Beaver. Also head surveillance showing a house explosion. The blast was felt miles away in the community. Tonight, frightening moments for one of Selena Gomez's family members forced to hide from intruders breaking in and what she did next. And later here, a member of our own ABC family, what our reporter learned after he made an offer 7 years ago. The email that arrived, and tonight what doctors are now convinced he can do. And so he did it in a moment here. Tonight, a home explosion rocking an entire community. A surveillance camera capturing the gas explosion that destroyed a home. This is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The blast knocking out power to the entire neighborhood. One person was rushed to the hospital in serious condition. A home next door was badly damaged. Tonight, that stunning headline coming in from Thailand. A woman found alive inside a coffin that was going to be sent for cremation. The 65-year-old woman's brother is saying she had been bedridden for 2 years. The family thought she had died when she appeared to stop breathing. Staff at a temple then heard knocking, opening the coffin to find her alive. Tonight, she's now being treated at the hospital. When we come back here, the scare for a member of Selena Gomez's family, and we remember a former child actor from Leave It to Beaver in a moment. To the index of other news tonight, a scare for Selena Gomez's mother-in-law during a home invasion. Masked intruders breaking in. Police say Gomez's mother-in-law, Sandra Levin, was at home in Studio City, California. 2 men in masks breaking in. She barricaded herself upstairs and was able to call 911. The men fled before police arrived. Levin was not hurt. We do have a passing to note tonight. John Eyman, a child actor in the 1950s and 60s, has died. Best known for playing a classmate of Jerry Mather's character on Leave It to Beaver. He later became a singer-songwriter and guitarist. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer in September. John Eyman was 76. When we come back tonight, what one of our reporters learned, he had made an offer to help 7 years ago, then an email recently arrived. What doctors are convinced he's now able to do in a moment. Finally tonight here, America Strong. What our reporter Trevor Ault learned after an offer he made to donate some 7 years ago. Well, recently an email, the National Marrow Donor Program, telling him he's a match, able to help someone he's never met halfway around the world.
After our own Robin Roberts documented her journey in 2012, undergoing a stem cell transplant thanks to her sister.
I think now is a good time to say, go Sally, go!
Robin's advocacy has inspired more than 38,000 people to swab their cheeks and sign up.
Okay, so just got into the car, headed to a blood center.
Including me.
What used to be the Match, now the National Marrow Donor Program. I signed up with them, I think, almost 7 years ago. I remember swabbing my cheek and sending it in.
But a few months ago, I got an email telling me I was a match.
What they've told me is that I'm a match for a middle-aged man on the other side of the world who has bone cancer. Maybe I could potentially come in and provide a little help.
After passing a few screenings, it was go time. First, a nurse gave me 5 days of injections to supercharge my body's stem cell production, and then I was off to Seattle with my caregiver, my girlfriend Grace, to go to their blood center, where every year hundreds of volunteers come to donate.
So we're all set up here. This machine is taking the blood out of my right arm here, and somewhere in there it is separating the stem cells. All I have to do is sit here for a couple hours.
For me, the entire process was relatively pain-free. It takes the average donor 4 to 6 hours. I was done in less than 3. There is still an urgent need for young, healthy, and willing donors, but there's also promising new research on the horizon for unrelated, partially matched donors to increase access and outcomes.
This email out of the blue is a pleasant surprise, because we could get to do something pretty cool here, I think.
No question about that. Good for you, Trevor. The National Marrow Donor Program to help, go to nmdp.org. That's a Thanksgiving gift. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.